Good evening and welcome to ODU's coverage of our Valorant game tonight. Tonight we have ODU versus RIT, and we're in for a banger of a match tonight. Actually, I believe we played RIT in a previous semester, and they're pretty solid. So we'll have to see what the game looks like tonight. As always, I'm Jeremy Purely Iber.
And I'm Robbie Bobby based in Gaddy. And we will be your two casters for our Valorant coverage tonight of CEA against Rochester Institute of Technology. Our first map is Haven. And this is going to be an interesting match because we had patch day yesterday.
Yes.
Yes, so we have seen quite a decent shakeup in the meta. A lot less, a big change in the controller part of it, where we see changes to Omen, Brimstone, and Astra, and also changes to Viper.
Yeah, all the controllers got moved around a little bit in this most recent patch.
So on Haven, what changes would you expect to see from ODU?
So I think that previously, obviously, Astra was kind of a one agent fits all sort of solution to the controller problem on pretty much any map. You saw her pretty much all the time. I think now that we still will most likely see a fair bit of Astra, but she'll be more in combination with some of these other controllers. Haven, I expect actually we might definitely see some Omen or Brimstone, both those agents getting significant buffs. Viper, I think it was more of a rework for her than an actual just straight flat out nerf. Definitely a few things for her that made her a little bit more tricky to play, but I still think she's going to be very powerful on the right map. I don't expect to see too much Viper on Haven, though. So,
yeah, as we are loading in now, as we see the full agent select, we see no Astros, and we see single controller out from the side of RIT.
wow. So
just opting for the, single smokes, just opting for the Omen. Well, jet smokes, but jet smokes are placebo. But I mean, just the Omen out from the side of ODU too, so a little bit interesting. Yeah.
So I actually don't like RIT's comp. So the problem with only having Brimstone as your sole controller is the main issue that I still have with Brimstone, even after his recent buffs that were quite nice for him, is that he still only has 3 smokes. You are locked into having 3 smokes, which means that earlier on, they might not have as much of a problem on this defender side, but you're really going to start to see the issues come in when RIT switches over to this attack, because you want to try and take map control early on with your controllers, and although they will have the jet smokes for making plays like this, as we can see ODU already aggressively pushing towards short, that should stun the rain, and that should be just a free kill right off the bat. I expect to see an execute come here. You can see the Brimstone. They might decide to slow down, and honestly, I like that a lot from ODU. Still plenty of time to work in this round. But so like we were saying, so Brimstone, right? 3 smokes maximum. So on defense, It will be okay for the most part. But on attack, when you want to see them starting to take some of this map control like mid right now, you're going to have to invest one of those smokes very early to get this mid control. And then that's one less that you have for the execute when it comes out. So I would expect that RIT might have some trouble on their attacker side. ODU, Omen as the sole smokes a little bit better because, again, he has the cooldown on his smoke. So only starting out with 2, but you can see Sauce already has his 3rd, and we'll have enough time in this round to get another one off. That smoke on spawn is a bit of a gap, but it does not matter at all. Defect with a 3K on the round.
And we do see Spike going down early for this, very late for the side of ODU, as they were pushing that A side early, got that kill, and sort of rotated around, were able to pick some off in the meantime. And they do know where this last Silva is for the side of RIT, and is able to take them out. Great angles held by ODU, as they did opt for a 4 ghost buy. Of course, Chamber doesn't really need to buy on pistol. He just buys bullets for his practically a sheriff. And ODU, very good aggressively. Jackson did opt to buy that wolf dog, whatever you want to call it, early, and that led them to that early kill on that A short. So now they do get a buy. You get Sentinel, Spectres for the most part. May or may not opt into shields, but we're gonna see where ODU wants to push, because where they don't want to, we're gonna see Niche really play around and set up those tripwires. We do see early Brim smoke on main window, which is a little bit weird. I would like to hold for a little bit more, and it looks like an early push out of A for the side of RIT. This Reyna does run by Niche, but oh my god, great stuff by the side of ODU, as they are able to get RIT on their aggressive pistol push. So RIT trying to get something back there, just run a full save and go into a full buy here now. And now it's ODU's bonus against RIT's full buy.
Yeah, and even though Niche was kind of trapped in that window position, you saw he got a lot of information just off the audio cues that were fed to him from that A-long push, which he was able to call over to his team, who looked like they were initially going for a fast C play, but then you saw them come back to help him out, and just a very clean round out of ODU.
Yeah, that tripwire from Chamber, first off, it acts as a tripwire, and second off, they will shoot it if they see it, because it makes a huge noise and it's a significant slow. So it is such an effective gadget or tool when used like that. And getting a concuss off on that killjoy there in the short, and Jackson just trying to knock down that wall, maybe looking for kills through it, as it are going for a little bit of a B push, and does get a flash off on that one defender there, but ODU not really able to find them. ODU just playing slow. They should be in a gun disadvantage, as Sauce does fall to Fahim. So first off, first time the first blood's been in favor of RIT, as Breezy is found out here by this silver drone, and ODU going to rotate towards the C long push.
Yeah, and that was a very aggressive hold from Breezy there with the ping going off. I mean, pretty much if anyone swung him there, he was dead, but just some confidence showing. Obviously, this is ODU's bonus round. We don't expect them to win this. They are just going to try and do some damage. Nice movement from Defect, but they still have not found this Jet in the back of the, towards Garage, and she picks up 2. No trade coming out yet.
A triple kill for the side of Loot, and it's just Niche left for the side of ODU as he tries to teleport out of there, but he's still stuck here. All he's got is that chamber gun. 6 bullets. He still has a chance at clutching it up, but not... I mean, he's got the credits. ODU's going to come in with a significant buy here if they want to next round, but this is what RIT needed to do. ODU was on a bonus. RIT wins their full buy.
10 seconds left.
And yeah, just 8 seconds left for the side of Niche. Probably going to try to knock off as many guns as they can. Does get taken out. That's a flawless. 2 flawless we've already seen now. And RIT, so far, it's going off. I mean, it's a pretty normal game so far. We've seen ODU took first 2 rounds, lost bonus. If they won bonus, then this would be catastrophically terrible for RIT. Because then ODU would be full rifle, and RIT would have no economy. But now, ODU did go a little bit cheap, I thought, on that second. I'm not sure if they all bought into armor. Or even
so, a lot of times what we'll see, especially in terms of the chamber and the jet that we see on ODU, is that Defect really likes his Sheriff on round 1, which we see a lot of Jets do, regardless. It's not a special thing to Defect, but he's very solid on this weapon. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll save the Sheriff over, you know, assuming Defect lived in the first round, which I believe he did. And I think we did see him get a kill with a Ghost, but I believe that was because he ran out of bullets in his Sheriff, and so he switched it out for a Ghost, you know, just mid-fight or something to pick up the kill. So I believe he did have a Sheriff. And then, of course, like we were saying, Chamber with his built-in Sheriff as well. So I think they both had armor. They just probably didn't buy into weapons there. So, but we will see a full buy out of them in this round. And looks like we might just see just a straight-up A execute here. Beautiful entry from Defect. Oh, but Lionheart, they don't clear the close corner. He does get traded by Sauce, but that's a bit of a disaster. Looks like a lineup from the Brim. Missing a little bit.
ODU still has control over this A site. So they did lose 2 on the entry, but they got 2 kills. More importantly. Now, Brimstone is, I think, a little bit short on utility there, so not the most useful. And KJ on retake is not... That turret is good for finding out where exactly they are, but it's not always the most useful. Jet Smoke's still available. And Defect does see them coming around the corner. Niche get on that crossfire. Great stuff. And Defect gets that triple kill for himself. And that's fourth round.
Yeah. It looked a little bit...
Round 4 inside of ODU, yes.
Right. You said it right. We just got a little mixed up there. Yeah, it looked like a lot better from ODU, obviously. The better weaponry and utility aiding them a little bit on that fourth round win. Their third round. We just did this. I'm doing it again. But yeah, I think there was definitely, it looked awkward from both teams a little bit, though, towards that execute. Yep. Obviously, Defect just, I believe he just dry swung that on that initial entry, and then the ODU team not checking the close right, and then on top of that, Brimstone Molly missing. So a little bit of jitters maybe from both these teams as they get into the swing of this match.
And Jackson and Defect entering into Garage, they do trade out. But since Defect is still in that Garage, it's advantage for ODU because they get positional. And Defect does have these knives, but opting not into using this round because he still had a great kill found on Kaz, but Lionheart getting 2 with that Hunter's Fury.
Hunter's Fury, yep.
I almost said Wraith. And just Sauce
One
and
enemy
Defect
remaining.
left. Defect with a
Player
3K. Sauce will fall to Fahim on the Reyna. And now a 1v1. Defect still has the dash.
Ooh.
Great flick on the side of Defect. Getting that 4K. And he's got so many kills already. And it's so early into this game.
Yeah, he is just so crisp.
Yeah, 10-1 on the side of Defect. And ODU about even in terms of economy. ODU will have a slight advantage though.
Yeah, well, I think that there's not going to be a buy out of
No,
RIT this round, because I think
It's either going to be no buy or very low.
yeah, most likely will be maybe like a half. They might go opt for a couple of upgraded pistols, maybe some half shields here and there, a little bit of utility, but will not be on the rifles.
Maybe a Marshall,
Maybe a Marshall, yep, like
as we
did
heard.
see.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so this should, assuming that nothing catastrophic goes wrong for ODU here, this should be a pretty confident round. It does look like they want to make a fast play on B, and this is a bit of a dangerous round to do something like that. But it looks like they will get the plants off pretty easily. Smokes on the left and right towards these links, but you can see this crossfire from the Marshals causing some problems. Sauce is going to go down. Jackson's still going forward there. I'm a little bit surprised. And Defect jumping on top, he's getting pincered on either side. So now a 2v4 for ODU. In this post plant, the smoke's gonna go down. Breezy will find the first with his shock dart. Niche finds the second through the smoke, so this is still very doable for ODU. Niche is able. Oh, wow! What a shot to close that out from Breezy as well. I was getting a little nervous there, but those two players from ODU just so solid on the post plant.
Yeah, absolutely great stuff by the side of ODU. Not a lot of initial resistance for that B site, and those protectors of the bomb on the B site themselves did fall very quickly because that angles with those Marshals was very effective. But playing off site and defending that bomb from off site, just because of where it's planted, was so effective for the side of ODU, because it was smack dab in the middle. They could sit in window, they could sit next to garage, and still have a lot of sight once at the bomb. And there's no walls, there's nothing artificial to really stop ODU from spraying down through smokes. So ODU just getting a lot of control with that, just based off where they pushed and where they planted. And now it looks like a little bit of a bait. C Long just messing around with it, and I think they're gonna opt into an A push even.
Yeah, well, and you saw because of that pressure towards C Long, obviously the Jet for RIT spotting at least a couple players there. That is gonna bait out the Brimstone smoke. Looks like a pretty far range Sky ultimate there. I mean, that will give them a little bit of info, but not much that they probably did not already know. They do know that there was a player playing close A short, so they're going to clear it with the dog now, but that's a lot of Sky's utility now forced out.
Yeah, only really, I think, a flash left besides the recharges.
Yeah, but this is going to be the go button from ODU. Jackson finding that kill on the A-long player who was caught out, pushed up too far. Swing is going to come from him. He finds the second onto the Jet back sight. And all this anti-plant utility is coming out.
Used by the side of RIT and not finding any. All 5 members of OD still alive and using 2 shock darts, Molotov, and that Brimstone ultimate. Reinhardt does find a kill into Defect, and it's Sauce, Niche, and Breezy left against this Killjoy and Sova, with no ultimates available to. Actually, we don't know about from Coach.
Yeah.
A Breezy finding both the kills to clean up that round. Not used to casting like this.
It's all good. Breezy, although he did accidentally shoot at the dart, which I think was the whoever was under there with him. I missed who it was, but I think it was the Omen. I think it was Sauce who was there with him. Shot it first, and then they both shot so that they knew they were both in that hell position. But ends up working out. He finds the transfer onto the second player, and a very clean first shot aids him being able to do that. So another great round from ODU, and this is getting a little ugly, if I'm going to be honest, for the side of RIT. I mean, that was just incredibly sloppy. Whiffed utility all over the place. Brim, his Molly lineup misses again. It looked like the Sova darts, for the most part, were on the default plant spot, but the Brim even investing his ultimate as well to try and deny the plant, and that just getting no value either feels really, really bad. If you're RIT, already the first pick going over to ODU in this round, and they're just going to send it onto the B site.
You got to hit those shots. Jackson walking in there very fast and doesn't get punished for it, but Sauce will get punished for it. Spike carrier is down, but ODU already has control of this B site, as Jackson is going to try to get any swingers coming off of A, but will not find any. He's going to get the drop on the C site, but misses the shots. Luckily, it is 4 versus 2, and his team has significant numbers advantage, and he does get that triple against that onto the arena. Defect gets the last kill, and ODU is looking so dominant right now. This is a great showing so far from ODU.
Yeah, and they did a lot better about the post plants in that round as well. We saw the first time they did a fast play towards B, got a little bit messy, could have gone, you know, very wrong there had the retake from RIT been a little bit cleaner, but they cleaned it up a little bit in that round. Although I will say you can definitely see Sauce shaking off a little bit of that rust on the Omen. He's missed a couple smokes now that I've noticed. They've had gaps in them on these executes, and you really got to tighten those up because the last thing you want to do is die from somewhere you think you're protected from. Sauce teleporting very aggressively towards A short though, and we're gonna see the same dog from Sky. This piece of utility is just so valuable from Sky, and it's why a lot of times I think that teams favor Sky on maps like Haven in particular because of how much value you can find. Looks like Jackson doing a bit of pre-firing, trying to clear out any Killjoy utility, I believe. That might be over towards this A site. Although I'm pretty sure the Killjoy was playing towards C earlier on in the game, so maybe they had a little bit of intel that she was playing towards A that round.
Maybe just placed down that Killjoy turret and then left.
Yeah.
Which is very realistic. But we do see a little bit of a split focus for the side of ODU, as they do have... It is niches are all the way in A.
Yeah.
And no one else is there, so ODU making the call to come back all the way to A as Niche just... I don't know how he's able to get all the way onto A, and that's knocked down. But
Gets a little aggressive though, but it doesn't matter. Sauce is gonna be able to TP across, and this is the
so much positional advantage.
Yeah.
It's something which we'll talk about a lot because it is so important. As we see A Breezy with the Hunter's Fury trying to find anything. Was able to find that KJ initially, but walking into B site, KJ was really able to get it out of it.
Yeah, this is the problem with investing that Hunter's Fury. Now KJ with her ultimate, she's gonna drop it. And it looks like Jackson's going to be somewhat safe. He saw that player cross, though, to short. Defect is going to be able to find the Reyna. 2 players detained, though, for ODU. And Jackson's going to just swing through the smoke to protect.
It's going to be on Jackson to really clutch this up because the other 2 ODU players are out of position.
Oh, so good.
Detained. And Jackson finding 2. Finds the 3rd. Great job out of Jackson. And, yeah, he really needed to...
Last player standing.
Oh, actually, they died to the spike.
Well, it was a bit of a mistake from Sauce because he definitely could have lived, but Jackson was dead no matter
Jackson
what.
Was dead.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of econ, but...
Yeah, but at this point, ODU up really 8 to 1. Their econ is probably pretty full right now. Maybe we can take a look at the scoreboard. Everyone with over 4K credits. Sauce sitting on a nice 5,500. And if we look at RIT, on the side of RIT, I mean, they've invested a lot of their ultimates in the last couple of rounds. You would have really liked to see them get that retake off with the Killjoy ultimate, but just not meant to be. ODU, Jackson with some heroics there.
Yeah, Jackson has definitely been playing very well this map so far. A lot more aggressive than we've seen in the past.
And Defect is just putting on an absolute clinic right now on this jet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackson is moving into this defender spawn already. As it looks like ODU is gonna opt in for a C plant. And ODU doesn't really need to do anything. They are the attacking side, but they have positional and numbers advantage, so it's all on RIT to make moves right now. And they do know that one player in that B site, it is the Killjoy. They will fall, and Silver right along with them also dies on pistols. So.
And honestly, Rob, I don't know if anyone took a single point of damage there on the side of ODU. I think they were all full HP at the end of that round. It was just...
That did seem near flawless on the side of ODU, yeah.
Yeah, so this has gone from bad to worse for RIT. I mean, they do have one round, but of course, the only round they've been able to find so far was, of course, that bonus for ODU. When they were on the unfavored
round, you are supposed
to win. Yeah. If you can't win that round, then there's no hope at all. Looks like we're gonna see a bit of a spam, but okay, Defect just taps Kaz, and he is really hot right now.
Yeah, it's the new skin. Spectacular skin line also.
Yes, flexing that new bundle a little bit here. And it looks like the call is going to come in to go over towards the A side. We're going to see the smoke in heaven. Turret is going to go down. Oh, Sasha's going to TP straight into the site. That's a little risky. No one had cleared his closed corner yet. Could have been a disaster, but it looks like the site has been abandoned. Going to get a great plant off. This is like basically the best spot to plant on the site. That TP is going to get caught on the corner. It was a bit awkward, but no matter. Defect finds another. 2 on the round for him right now, and again, this is just this looks like an easy win round for ODU.
Jackson playing aggressive does get taken out, but Breezy gets a kill back on a loot there, I think, in heaven.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh, Defect.
Looks like I was
Another
stronger.
4K.
Yeah.
Defect's an absolute monster.
Last round before the
And I mean, obviously the aim duels for ODU definitely being one more favoring ODU,
Yes.
but I mean, even this utility usage, there's definitely a vast difference. I love to see Breezy there use his recon almost as a zoning tool. You saw him shoot it right above the doorway for those remaining 2 players to try and retake the site. Well, they have time on their side once the bomb is down. So he shoots it above the doorway knowing that if they really want, yeah, they can wait out the recon bolt, but that's another precious, 5 to 6 seconds off the clock that they really don't have time to give. So you see them forced to just fight it, and really just a free cleanup for ODU there. Nice little lineup there. They are going to spot that one player towards.
And Niche did use that ultimate, which is just an operator.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's important to note, I actually learned this myself the other day. When you get a kill with Chambers operator, his tour de force. Wow, great 2K from Lionheart. He's really been the only shining star I was going to mention for RIT so far in this game. So now a 2v4.
We've seen a decent performance by Raheem.
Yeah, Raheem's done decent as well. But what I was saying is that, Breezy might go down here. I think he will. Movement's a little awkward. But Niche finds a second on the round. Oh, and he avoids the tag. That's big. He still has HP to play with here. He could definitely still win this round. 3 bullets in the magazine on his tour de force left, and only 3 players to find. It's definitely possible. I was going to say one of the main differences about this weapon, other than the fact a little bit cleaner display, a little bit snappier, is that when you kill someone with it, it actually leaves the slow that his trap does behind after you get a kill with it, which can be very valuable, especially if you're playing on defense and you're deterring a rush and you get that first pick.
I honestly thought that was
30
for all of
seconds
his
left.
weapons.
No, I believe it's just his tour de force.
Yes, I figured that out the other day.
Yeah, it would be a little bit OP if it was his sheriff as well.
Oh, great shock dart for RIT, though. And it...
Yeah,
Niche,
and
36 HP, 3 bullets in a dream.
yeah, and I don't think there's really any
10
reason for him to
seconds
save
left.
here. ODU's economy is just fine. Oh, he's going to go for the no-scope. Unlucky. So that will be the second round picked up for RIT. So at least they have 2
Switching
on their
sides.
first half. But, I mean, it's going to be an incredibly difficult mountain to climb here for them.
It's not 9-3.
That's true. It's not 9-3. So they have a chance. But it's definitely going to be rough. It looks like... yeah, so we're going to see pretty standard stuff for the side of ODU. This is where they all like to play for the most part. Obviously, the Agent's a little bit different now that Chamber is grown in popularity, and obviously the Omen,
Yep.
we mentioned at the beginning, replacing the Astra. But for the most part, pretty standard stuff, looks like, on their defense. Looks like Jackson might look for a bit of an early dog here down A short, which we saw him do many times on attack, just from the reverse side. So it'd be great at getting some information. I would like to actually see him maybe delay a little bit, but he probably just wants to,
I think he's expecting this fast A short.
most likely, yeah. But defects, yeah.
Taking the pip.
Yeah, taking the orb, so they know that no one is towards this A site. And actually, defect, okay, the hit's coming in over towards C, so that's why defect knows to push. It's gonna have to deal with, and unfortunately as well, Niche opting for, or not unfortunately, but Niche opting for the half shields. He only has 3 more shots on his mock sheriff here. Couldn't be bothered to learn the name.
Jackson almost finding that kill on the arena. Going to be so low there. Does find a kill on Luke's jet there. And ODU, despite being 3-3, has a lot of point control now. But just playing that cubby, it's going to be very hard to take RIT out of this scenario. But we're almost able to get that diffuser around the wall. No utility available for the side of ODU, so they just need to play for frags, and they do find it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, unable to get to half. It's going to be really close. I think Defect just has it, though. Yeah, he does. 1.5 seconds left
Just a second and a half left.
on that timer. And again, I mean, Defect.
Amazing retake.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just insane, man. He's just so good.
Yeah, let's see his stat line for this.
He had a classic,
game
I
so
believe.
far.
Or, well, no, he had his sheriff, and then he swapped to the classic because he was,
Defect is 23 and 4.
yeah. That's
That
nuts. He's averaging almost 2
absolute-
kills a round.
Yeah, he's
That works.
almost 6 KDA.
A gift.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
That he is having an absolute monster map,
We should do.
and there's not much RIT can do about him. As we do see Niche is teleporting on top of this box with the Bulldog. Not gonna see very often. But Sauce finds 2 with the spray into Garage. Teleporting off that box. Almost
enemy
finds a 3rd and
remaining.
4th. But Breezy and Niche picking up those 2 more kills, and now just the Jet left.
Yeah.
And taken out by Defect, so... Well, that round, ODU took no damage
Match
besides.
point.
Besides the one casualty, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous. Sauce sprang through the smoke there. If they had waited, they just delayed a second for him to run out of ammo there and then pushed him, he might have been in a different situation.
Yeah, he would have been dead.
Yeah,
And
but,
nothing he could have done about it.
but yeah, decent. Believe he finds 3 right before he dropped, or just 2. He just found 2 and then got a dink on a 3rd before he goes
Yep.
down. So good damage from him.
Leave
Yeah,
them
so that's
no
gonna be a successful
escape.
round converted for ODU, and this is the problem, right? When you let them go up 10-2, you lose the pistol, and now you have 1 round to now you have to win if you're RIT 11 in a row here, or sorry, 10 in a row here to push it to OT, and I mean that just feels so difficult.
It is bonus, but a
It
decent amount
is.
of ODU players have opted into buy rifles, as we see Defect has a Vandal.
Yeah, because he saved his sheriff over in the
Yep.
bonus, so looks like a hit on to B site. Jackson though getting in front of it. Yeah, and they're not even gonna check for him.
Finds 2, does get traded out by the Jet though. Jet will follow the Sauce, and that is going to be
wow.
Defenders
that was a
win.
fast round.
That was possibly one of the fastest games. I mean, we have seen a couple of... We saw one 13-0 from ODU earlier in the season. We saw 13-1 as well. But, I mean, that game was just so incredibly fast. The rounds were just... The pace was incredible, so...
I don't really have anything for ODU to really change. They lost that bonus in the first half, which they should have lost. They lost another round later on, just because they got fragged out against early. So ODU played that near flawlessly. I don't really have a lot of criticism for this side of ODU.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they need to change much up at all. The way they were playing was really well, especially Jackson was utilizing his utility incredibly well, both on attack and on defense. I mean, there was multiple rounds where they won, you know, between Jackson's utility usage and Defect just firing on all cylinders. I mean, it's looking pretty doomed for RIT here. I will say I believe that was ODU's map pick. So that, you know, that is a little bit of a bright spot for RIT. Maybe they can look forward to hopefully, you know, feeling a little bit more confident on their map pick. I'm not 100% sure what that is. We'll have to see in a second here. But I think the other main problem, if you're RIT, is just they look really not together. I mean, that last round was a perfect example, right? We see the Jet updraft up, dash over the top, but doesn't clear any close corners. Jackson's aware of this. He gets tucked into the close corner, finds 2 before the Jet realizes and turns around and kills him. And at that round, at that point, the round is over. It's too late. You know, you need to, if you're doing a fast B play, you need to get the bomb down. First thing, as soon as you make noise, bomb down and get out. Because the Jet, you know, alerts everyone that, oh, we're hitting B. So at that point, everyone collapses in. It's just a disaster. And I mean, even their composition differences, right? I mean, choosing the Killjoy over the Chamber, choosing the Reyna. I'm not a fan of Reyna on Haven. And I mean, it looks like Fahim was doing a decent job on it, but I mean, not finding the impact. The only player that I was impressed with, really, for the side of RIT was their Sova, which was Lionheart. Everyone else was pretty unimpressive for me. And I feel like if you're going to run a 2 duelist comp, which we do not see much of anymore, usually we're seeing 1 duelist with like a hybrid duelist, almost like you have a initiator like a Sky or a KO that functions sort of as a mock duelist as well as providing the utility, or you see the Jet Chamber like we did on ODU, because Chamber is almost, I mean, he's a sentinel, but he has a lot of duelisty capabilities where he can go for very aggressive peaks, get out alive, things like that. He has the movement like some duelists, so.
Yeah, he's just on that border, and we will be. He's just on that border of like Duelist and Sentinel, and we will be back very shortly with more coverage of Map 2. We're gonna take a short break, recuperate a bit, and we will see you back here very shortly. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
we are back with map 2. Is going to be Bind. I will be honest. I know I said that ODU picked Haven, but per a little bit of intel from production, we're actually not sure if Haven was their map pick. It could be Bind. They have been messing around a little bit with Bind, especially after the recent patch. Obviously, a few changes coming into Yoru that are pretty significant. Unfortunately, we will not see him today, which I'm not surprised about because he's still pretty bad. Bar maybe some lower. Yeah, I mean, feel free to try him out in your unrated and rated games, you know, especially if you're lower elo, but in terms of competitive play, not the greatest. I think it would have been a little bit of BM for ODU to whip it out, so glad to see that they are practicing something they would play normally, not mess around too much here. Pretty standard comp. We are going to see the Brimstone Viper, so I like to see that a lot. Viper, this is definitely a map traditionally that we see Viper played a lot on, and it looks like Jackson might be the one picking that one up. Sauce on the Brim. Brimmy with the Stimmy in round 1. He's also going to have the Frenzy playing towards this U-Haul position. One nice thing as well that a lot of people probably didn't read in the patch notes, Brimstone, now his range for his Sky Smokes is increased, so he can pretty much deploy them anywhere he needs to from this position on the map. Looks like we are going to see one go down early. He's going to throw out the stim. Keep in mind, though, that stim affects both your team and the enemy team, so they can run up and cause some problems here. Looks like the nade's going to come in, should cause Sauce to fall back. Defect has already taken a little bit of early damage here on the raise. And I believe that was another smoke from the side of ODU. So that's 2 already forced out. Still 50 seconds on the clock. Breezy's in a bit of a precarious position. I would hope that they've cleared out showers if he's just standing there with his dart out. Defect as well. We've got a lot of people looking towards short right now. So I would imagine maybe they used a drone or a dart to clear out showers. Looks like Breezy currently peeking it a little bit for some info here. It's not going to see anyone currently. First kill's going to go down to Sauce, but we can hear the spike being dropped. That Viper wall is going to provide a little bit of cover, but I imagine that shock dart did quite a bit of damage. Niche is going to be able to find one over the top of the wall onto Loot. So now 3v4 post plant for RIT. Health bar low for Defect, but everyone else looks like they're mainly in full, and they find the player in U-Haul. That's huge. Jackson picks up 2 on the Viper, and they're going to clean up the 3rd. That's a beautiful retake for ODU. I love how they leverage their health bars there as well. You can see that after Jackson took that initial fight, he backed up to reload and also allowed his full HP player to take the fight there. Sort of a little bit of a bait and switch. So they even save over some of these pistols as well. And honestly, I think that if you want, you don't even have to really buy. It looks like I saw the Marshal there for Chamber. We can see Defect is going to upgrade to a Sheriff. He actually did not have that on the pistol round like we normally see him. It's a little bit harder when you're playing on Raze because you can't buy any utility when you pick up the Marshal. So she doesn't have the same kind of survivability that Jet has with her dashes, her free bit of utility. So looks like we're going to see an early peek down B long here with the Marshal from Niche. Early recon dart is... Okay, it's going to get shot, actually, so it doesn't spot out Niche. And you can see that range for his teleport, he's still in range, and a beautiful shot onto Loot. Looks like we're going to have a full eco out here from RIT, considering that was a one-shot to the body with the Marshal. But actually... Kaz finds Sauce. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. He's going to dash across the U-Haul. So now ODU have to be a little bit careful here. Kaz was able to recover that Spectre. I'm not sure if Brim maybe got caught with his smoke out, with his utility out. And we're going to hear at least a triple teleporter towards Hookah for RIT. The rotate had come in a little bit early. So that should be a free plant now for RIT. Defect spots one crossing the back of the site to the corner, so they know where this one player is, but he's able to get back across without going down. Bit of a tricky retake here for ODU, but they do have the superior weaponry and should have the shields as well. Defect opens it up with a beautiful shot into Fahim. Niche following it up. Kaz trades onto Niche. That poison, though, is going to cause some problems. It's going to slow down this Jet. Jackson swings and finds it. Remaining player now in Hookah. Breezy's going to stick it, and I think he should be all right. Yeah. Viper going to desperately try and jump down to get Breezy off of the spike, and unfortunately to no avail. So ODU will win that round. It was a little bit closer than you like to see, though, when you're talking about a second round especially against a full eco from RIT. Only 2 players remaining. And that's going to cause some problems, definitely, too, going to their 3rd round. Normally, we see them go for a bit of a bonus here in this 3rd round, saving some of those weapons over from round 2. But Yeah, it looks like we might just see... This is going to be a bit difficult for ODU. We might just see, like right now, we're just seeing a ghost and half armor out of Sauce. He wants to make sure that he can full buy going into their next round.
Scanning ahead.
Bit of a deeper smoke here as well. As an early recon dart. Defect is going to drop in showers.
Deploying drone.
Yeah, this should be a winning round for the side of RIT, as they do have a full buy. They should have a full buy versus ODU's bonus. We always talk about bonus. If you win the bonus, you're in an amazing position. But you're expected to lose it.
Oh,
Ooh.
Jackson looking like maybe a little bit not used to being on the Viper here, and that ping on the niche is going to dink him down to 32 through the wall. It's very unfortunate. This is looking pretty rough. Actually, Breezy finds one through the smoke though, onto Vahim.
Breezy, now with that combat stim so good with the Ares, he moves so fast. That is a little bit hilarious to see. And going for his lineup, that's going to be pretty big. Does find one. And Sauce will get that kill through the smoke.
Recover the Vandal as well. He still has a smoke too. I expect to see that go towards Garden. Oh!
Gets swung on. But the trade does come out, and A Breezy will in a 1v2. But Niche and A Breezy both taken out.
And I think Viper was on a long flank there through A, if I'm not mistaken.
It did seem like,
Backstabbing a little bit.
yeah, a lot of bullets came from behind, so it must have been that Viper flank.
Or maybe she just pushed through elbow and no one was watching it. She just found a good timing as well. That's possible, but yeah, Jackson maybe not as used to playing on this Viper. We saw him just try to cross just a tiny bit early there.
Yep.
Because obviously there's a bit of a delay on Viper's smokes being deployed after she pushes the whatever key he uses to deploy his smoke. So ODU gonna be on a full buy this round though, and we see a very early recon dart towards B long. No one playing there for ODU though. Niche taking a forward position in hookah, and he should find one and be able to teleport out now. Okay, he delayed for a second there, but he's able to get back to safely. And Sauce across the map finds another. So now 5v3 for ODU.
Yeah, now RIT forced to rethink where they really want to push here, because they were just stopped very early into that push. They boom botted into hookah. It looks like they may actually still opt into this B push, but that was a teleporter. So we're not quite sure if they're rotating in or rotating out. ODU does have an advantage though. Yeah, okay, it was a teleport towards that site. Ooh, Kaz taking out Sauce on that from Long, and Reinhardt gets the kill into effect. So now 3v3, ODU has lost that advantage I was talking about. And this Brimstone, very importantly, this Brimstone ult is available to RIT. So
yeah, and it was just
for this post point, RIT is in a
30
prime
seconds
position
left.
to win it.
well, and it's just a very strange play for ODU as well. I mean, there's no real reason for them to commit so hard for that. You can see now Breezy left kind of out by himself. He's going to pull out the Hunter's Fury, but it's going to be too late. And actually, I believe the plant's going down towards triple here. He's going to have to put it away a little early so as not to get swung through the smoke. But just a really unnecessary aggression out from ODU on their defense. We're going to see, okay, the Brimstone is going to come out onto Breezy while he's in that. I don't think he realized it was going to clip him there. And yeah, the clutch out from Loot there, that's going to net RIT their second, and really sloppy from ODU. You know, I mean, I would like to praise RIT. They definitely played the round well, but I mean, ODU just really blundering there. I mean,
Seemed fairly soul up.
Yeah, but I mean, up, you know, 5-3, you don't need to be trying to pinch them. I mean, they could hear the teleporter, right? So they're going to be aware that someone could be behind them now, you know, if they're towards hookah or towards B long. Sauce could have just as easily chilled towards, you know, market, and then when the rotations come in, it's so free.
Sauce opting for one of the best weapons gun, the Stinger, but does get taken out almost instantly. Walks into the spray of Lionheart, and they opted into the Stinger buy. I'm very happy about that.
And maybe I'm not privy to maybe there's a buff to the Stinger. Look, doing some work. We're going to see a knife out from Kaz. That's a little strange. I'm
a little BM.
not sure why he has his knife out. But we're going to see Niche on the other side of the map. 1v4. He does have his tour de force out, but he's going to have to hit some pretty incredible shots here to bring ODU back into this round. I honestly, I know maybe the Stinger did get a bit of a buff, a bit of a change. It has
Not at
not. It's
all.
just because of the stim beacon.
Stim
Safe on my
beacon, yeah,
trap.
you can move fast because Stinger is
Right.
one of the. It honestly does have one of the faster time to kills besides being a one tap in the game
Sure.
because it has such a high fire rate, and with the Stim beacon it fires so fast. Now the problem is that your recoil is atrocious and your range is terrible.
Right.
But if you're pushing in through a smoke with a Stim beacon, it's completely fine because
But-
you're moving fast with a high rate fire weapon.
Sure. I feel like you get rate of fire though with the stim beacon. So why wouldn't you just buy frenzies there instead of a Stinger?
Oh, you get a little bit more Ooh,
It doesn't matter. He didn't have. a
it
gun.
doesn't. Yeah, he didn't buy anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he keeps his ammo, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean.
So it means nothing for champ.
Yeah.
No, but when it comes to Stinger versus Frenzy, you did get a little bit more controllability with that Stinger. You get a little bit more range, and I mean,
Do you?
it's slight. I mean, if you do aim down sight, you can kill with a single.
I would
Trigger
agree
pull?
that the time to kill with the Stinger would be faster, but I think
Yes,
in just
it is.
terms of recoil and even mobility, right? You're gonna have a little bit more probably with the frenzy.
You get a little bit more, but the
it's
the
cheaper.
recoil for the Frenzy is a little bit tougher.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'd have to try myself to
Yeah,
sort of get a feel for. I'm not really, I don't know. I haven't used Brimstone Stim in quite a while, so.
Yeah, it's very niche to use, but the Stinger, when you do ADS, if you headshot and double body shot, it kills.
You're gonna see the Viper's pick come out towards A for ODU, and actually, a bit of a
Interesting.
strange Brimstone ult as well.
Ooh, Sauce just with the crosshair placement a little bit off.
I don't think they had any info about a player in hookah, so I'm not sure why Sauce, or even if they did, no way to sort of lock them down in that position. So that Hellfire came in, I feel like, a bit early, a bit prematurely. They could have used it to deny a plan here. So now Niche by himself over towards his B side. He hears it going down, and oh, that shock dart going to do so much.
RIT does know where Niche is because they've heard those bullets hit. They know that shock dart hit. Ooh, and if Defect gets taken out by Scar, and just Jackson coming up on the hookah now, they're gonna know that he's around here. Jackson, he's gonna have to do a lot to pull this round back. It is him and Niche, but Niche is very low in HP.
Last player
Ooh.
standing.
With shots from Jackson. Yeah, and I don't even think Niche has any hope of getting out alive here. It's better to sort of run at them and hope to maybe take a gun or two away. And they're just going to TP out, and he's just going to die to the bomb here. So that's definitely a frustrating round if you're ODU. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of things going wrong, but overall, the thing that I'd have to take away from that round is just they feel like they're being forced into some plays that they're really not. I mean, why? The Viper's Pit, I think, from Jackson is always fine to just pop on defense on either site. It doesn't really matter when in the round. It doesn't matter how. You know, if you feel pressure, sure, drop the Viper's Pit. That's fine. You get good value knowing that it's going to be a lot harder for them to push into that site. But the Brimstone just feels very out of place.
Right here.
And you might be having some technical difficulties right now. Hopefully you guys didn't get that on the stream, but I believe we should be fine now.
Not sure what
Right here.
happened there, but yeah, talking about that Viper's Pit versus Hellfire being used there, yeah, that Viper Pit lasts for a significant amount of time,
Right here.
and that
Right here.
Hellfire is just a
Right
very
here.
short ultimate. It's super impactful, but that Viper Pit lasts for so long, so you can hold a long defense, a long time with one side defense.
Yeah.
Now, good timeout usage right this side of the review.
Yeah, I definitely think that you need to sort of take a breather there after those last couple of rounds have been a little bit frustrating, and you really don't want, you know, especially when rounds. It's not so much when you're losing rounds back to back. You know, I mean, sometimes if you lose quite a few in a row, it's good to call a timeout. But I mean, those rounds that they lost were definitely winnable. You know, the fact that it was more of the manner in which they lost that was, you know, that can definitely cause some frustration. So
Smoke's down.
they're currently troubleshooting a little bit of an issue, but it looks like a bit of a half buy here for ODU. The first pick gonna go over to Defect. Nice nade placement. Shock Dart coming out for Breezy as well. Not sure if he was able to find any damage on it just yet. But it's definitely possible.
Apologies for the technical issues.
Yeah, we were just doing a little bit of troubleshooting here. Hopefully you guys don't have any any of what we heard through our headsets on the stream right now. We apologize if so.
Welcome to
Yeah.
my world.
Ooh, that's their attacking Viper ultimate out. Pre-planned.
Yeah. Oh, but actually Sauce finds Lionheart. So this is still a 5v3 for
seconds
ODU. It's definitely doable here. Especially since they know pretty much where all these players from RIT are, and another kill going the way of ODU. There's only 2 members remaining here, and Jackson finds the Viper through the smoke.
Thrifty.
A flawless round for ODU, and off of a half buy as well. That's definitely a great way to get their mental back on track.
That's definitely a thrifty round.
Yeah, very much
Yeah,
so.
that is quite the definition of what a thrifty round would be in Valorant. Yeah, it's, going with almost nothing spent and still picking up that round. Great stuff out from them. And we see that timeout working well. Jackson trying to get this orb ready. And I don't think I've seen Jackson play Viper.
Yeah, so I mean, before on most of these maps, usually it was Sauce was the sole controller for this team, because pretty much on every map, before they nerfed Astra, you could pretty much just have one controller. The only map really we saw Viper was Icebox, right? Before the, before the changes. Even on this map, it would just be a sole Astra. Once people got the hang of playing her, you really don't need any.
A decent amount on Breeze too.
Oh, on Breeze, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Breeze and Icebox, the 2 main maps we saw Viper. So Jackson was pretty much always on an initiator for those maps. But of course, now with the changes to the controllers, definitely going to be, we're going to see a lot more double controller comps coming out now because of the changes to Astra. So that that definitely makes you have to definitely find value out of these picks like Sova, right? Like on this map, you don't have any flashes. Niche is gonna find second kill of the round, but Lionheart trades it right back onto Jackson. ODU still with an advantage and only 40 seconds left on the clock. This A site's still pretty vacant. Looked like we saw a bit of a rotation coming off of B, now using the drone to retake B, but it looks like no one's
30
here, so
seconds
I'm not
left.
exactly sure what's going on. They clear Olive Garden. They do see one at the orb, though, next to the TP, so that's at least they know where one player is, but of course, that rotation can come in so quick. The smoke's going to come out towards spawn, though. They know, oh, and a beautiful shot through the smoke for Breezy, and they know this final player should be towards long. Defect cleans it up. 3 on the round for him. Wow. That was some beautiful play out of ODU. That shot from Breezy, too, just lights out.
Absolutely great. Through the smoke, not really having any knowledge that a player was even there in the first place. And great stuff out on the side of ODU's defense there. With only 20 seconds left, RIT was stuck, though. They needed to make something, and they needed to make something extremely fast. And just not able to get that done. Great stuff by Defect and Niche there. And now we see... we see normal Viper wall. It's a full buyout from the side of ODU.
Smoke's down.
They've struggled a bit more in this map compared to most because it's pick versus not their pick. Early Molly out from the side of Sauce.
He does have to be careful. He can get spammed here, yeah, and he's going to. I'm not sure if that was the play from Sauce. I like the aggressive smoke, but that's very ambitious to go for that orb there. That's going to put ODU on the back foot. Not to mention, if we look at the ult economy right now, 3 ults for the side of RIT, none for ODU. Looks like, oh, that drone's going to definitely get a lot of valuable information, though, for them. Seeing the Viper rotate off. And Defect's going to find 2 across the side. Finds 3!
Finds the 4th. Now just the ace left. Just looking at the Viper, and he still has HP to work with. Still has 70 HP to work with. No armor. But I would hope they give it to the ace to Defect. As he does find it, and great stuff out of Defect. The triple and then the ace. Let's see where he's on the scoreboard.
I mean,
12 and 5.
Sorry, ears still
he's, and the thing about Defect, right? Look, I'm a little biased, right? I used to team with this man. He is an absolute monster. I'm so happy that I get to cast him now, especially now that we get to see him on the Duelist. In previous semesters, I guess, previous seasons, wasn't always able to play on the Duelist. We had him sometimes on the initiators and things like that, even picking up controllers from time to time. But I mean, his mechanics are just so good, and it's really hard to argue with how consistent he is as well. I mean, it seems like every game, you know, even if he's not top of the board, he's right up there with the top fraggers. And looks like maybe just a standard execute coming out. Niche gonna go towards heaven. I'm a little surprised his TP wasn't up here. I guess maybe he was looking for a bit of more of an early pick. We're gonna see the drone come out from showers. I'm not even sure if it saw Niche. It did, and he's gonna get tagged, so that's gonna basically take him out of the action. And actually, I think he's gonna go down. Oh, the Hunter's Fury from Loot.
Great shooting by Loot there.
Yeah, finds a great pick. Sauce doing a good job locking down this hookah area right now. He does have to be careful though. Again, he used great use of that Molotov, but it's gonna get smoked off. It's gonna have a bit more difficulty now.
A little bit early on the Molotov though.
It was, but the reason I liked it is because, again, the
It stopped
stim
the push
beacon,
coming
as far
from
as I
land.
know, or unless and that was something in the small text that I didn't read, it affects both your team and the enemy team. So something you have to be careful about, yeah. So and unless they changed it in this most recent patch,
30
so something
seconds
you have to be careful about with Brimstone is you saw the radius of it, right, and
Yep.
where he deployed it. They can get that movement speed buff as well and just swing him really hard on hookah there. So the Molotov did a great job of denying that.
Last player
Oh,
standing.
and Breezy trying to get a little cheeky there. Defect 1v3, you know, I wouldn't put it past him. We've seen this
Spike
man
planted.
with some incredible clutches before. Getting spammed a little bit through that wall in hookah. But he's able to make it out though. And that's the hardest part. Once you can get out onto the site, it's definitely doable. We'll have to see if RIT is set up well. He clears tube out. They're all playing very far back on these post plants. And the main problem for him is going to be time here. He's trying to clear out all of these angles, but it's just so difficult with this little time. But Viper's going to go down, and he finds a second. Oh, the Brim had his utility out. Oh, and that's just so unfortunate. Even Defects, he's going to drop to that Hellfire. Tries to sort of blast pack out, you know, around it to avoid some of those bullets coming out from the Sova. But good try from him. It was definitely the right play, I think, to try and lurk up there. Finds the Viper, and if he was just a little bit quicker onto the Brim, that definitely could have been something there. But
5-5 though. We are all tied up. Only 2 rounds left in half.
Jackson, just jump up there, dog, and we've seen him so many rounds. Try and get fancy with it.
Eventually he'll get it.
So actually, something that I would like to know, this is a different Viper setup than we've seen in the past. Oh, Jack, yeah, I would get the heck out of there, dog.
Just
You do
throws the
not want to
snake
go
bite and
down.
leaves.
Yeah, you do not want to go down early as the Viper. But I was gonna say something that we have seen Viper setups in the past. You can actually reach all the way towards A short as well with that Viper wall, so that it covers Gardens, Hookah, and A short. But we see Jackson opting for a bit more of an aggressive wall that helps take some mid control. It allows people to get out of that teleport. Defect's gonna find the opener onto Fahim.
Here we see another early Viper ult, but it does last for a very long time.
It lasts until the Viper dies.
Yes.
or she
As I
drops it.
Yeah, or I said a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but ODU was getting so many kills and advantage. It doesn't really matter because they already have this number of advantage, and they're closing in on the outsides of this Viper ult. The effect now moving in. I think they're still mostly stuck in showers. It does find the Viper, so it will fall now. But Lionheart does trade back. 3v2 in favor of ODU. Lionheart finds a second.
One enemy remaining.
But Sauce will get the kill back,
Spike
and Niche with the
down
op.
A.
They have the op
30
in their
seconds
control,
left.
so they're now playing defense. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, they are now playing defense. They're still playing defense, but now they're defending the spike and not the site.
Yeah, and they spotted this last player out. He's kind of stuck right side showers now. Could have crossed though. Smoke's gonna come out from Sauce. Oh, but he's able to lurk out of it. And he has to be a little careful. Loot takes the fight into Sauce, and Sauce with some wish
10
shots.
seconds left.
Niche needs to be oh so careful. You do not want to get caught lacking here. Wow, that was an aggressive jump across there. And looks like Niche is just gonna wait for that recon bolt to time out here. And Loot did not use that opportunity to get a bit more of a
Didn't
defensive
really
position.
move,
So
yeah.
yeah, that is quite unfortunate for them. But ODU is gonna pick up their 6, and sort of what we were talking about. This is definitely looking a lot better for RIT. So I would imagine this has to be their map
Last
pick. I mean,
round in
surely
the
ODU
half.
doesn't pick bind and then is having a much more difficult time on this map. They don't look as comfortable on it. So
But looking to go 7-5.5 is
yeah, it's not
nice.
bad. It's not bad, especially on defense.
Yeah.
I would say that Bind still typically is more of an attacker-sided map, especially if you know how to get the most value out of those teleporters. But it kind of just depends a little bit on, you know, from team to team. Definitely depends on the compositions a lot as well. I feel like the main thing to note is that we haven't seen as great chamber play on this map as we did. We saw a lot of value from chamber on Haven. Looks like Niche is having a bit more of a difficult time on this map with him. We're going to see a bit of a jump spot here from Sauce. I like that Niche finds the opener, though. Oh, and I like this aggressive play with the op as well. And that's onto the Viper. That's a crucial pick. Now they only have the Brimstone for these executes. And again, like I said, you don't want to only have the Brimstone for the executes, especially if he has to use one of his smokes early to get some map control. So great pick to find on Niche, and he's even staying very aggressive here, although I don't believe he okay, he does have his teleporter very close by. Nice curve of the jet smoke around the corner there, and he's going to fall a little bit further back, but again, he's just, wow, he is just really leaning into it.
I like this aggression. It completely cuts off a whole portion of this A push.
Yeah. I'm wondering actually if the Viper had the spike there, and so the Jet had to do that just to get the spike and recover the spike there and get back across. They've bled so much time just off that one pick here for ODU. Less than 40 seconds now on the clock. Great positions as well. Yep, we're going to see the poison bite come out. It does not quite make it into hookah, but honestly, that's just fine. You know, anyone jumping out is going to get caught in that and become vulnerable, even if it doesn't do a ton of damage. Okay, it looks like the execute's going to come out. Wow,
ooh,
what
great
a shot
by
the
fact. Jackson finds one kill. Okay, gets traded back.
Yeah, but the time, look at the time, and the Hellfire is going to come in directly on the middle of the site. I think they will have the time to get the spike down.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so close. And I don't know why Niche went through by himself. It looks like just one player remaining. Sauce is able to trade it.
Oh, but Breezy gets mollied out.
Yeah, but they know exactly where this final player is. They were able to get out there. Yeah, and really well played from ODU. I actually don't think the Hellfire reached that back corner. That's why the spike was planted back there. Out of ODU or out of RIT?
Out of ODU after their last defender was killed.
Switching sides.
I didn't catch it. It must have been a misclick though.
It doesn't matter because it's half, but.
Oh, well then he was just using it. I forgot we were at half.
Yeah, but yeah, actually.
Oh, you're saying why didn't he use it earlier?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens like that.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I would much rather have Breezy there ready to trade, swing with his rifle up with his teammate, as opposed to having
they're going to smoke out A short and run through with Stim Beacon.
They might.
It's 5 frenzies.
It's 5 frenzies for the side of ODU. Can we maybe look at the scoreboard? Oh my goodness.
Stim Beacon with frenzies.
Here we go.
We're going to see W key and mouse 1.
What a time to be alive in the Valorant meta. Frenzies, stingers, and holding W. Here we go. Keep in mind that this combat stim effect lasts even once you've left it, so we're going to see them rush straight into the site. Bomb will go down. Actually, trades favoring, though, towards RIT, and Fahim's able to drop the planter before the spike gets put down. Oh, it's going disastrous for ODU. Just one player remaining, and I don't even think he's going to find the Brim. Okay, he does. I don't know why he wasn't traded immediately. Beck's able to get out alive, but by himself now, and just no hope there with that little HP. So, does not go how ODU wanted, that is for sure.
Opting not to use smokes there. I think Brimstone may have sold his smoke.
No, I think he used at least one, didn't he?
You can't afford all 3 Stim Beacon and Frenzy.
So, Stim Beacon is... How much is Stim Beacon? 200? 150?
Yeah. Oh, it's 150.
Yeah, 1 Stim Beacon.
Oh, it was just the one. Okay, never mind. Yeah, he affords it then.
Yeah, he just had 1 Stim Beacon. Yeah. Because remember, when you run through it, you have that lingering effect after for a little while. So he just threw it down right away to give him that movement speed buff and the attack speed. Or the attack speed. What am I playing, a MOBA? The fire rate.
Yeah.
So,
well, it does get the, well, I mean, attack speed, fire rate. I mean,
look, Riot Games, man. Look, Riot Games, man. They all blend together for me. It's all the same game. Let's be real. Omen is just Reaper from Overwatch. Copium. All right, and it looks like we're going to see the execute come out over towards this B site. And actually, Jackson was able to find Scar and recover the Spectre. You can see that deep smoke is going to let him lurk through towards his elbow position as well. And actually, he finds the Sova.
Great find.
Oh, what a great play from Jackson. And although he's low HP here, he's done everything he needs to in this round. ODU definitely with a great opportunity, even is going to be able to drop that Sheriff over to Breezy if they're able to recover it. Actually, that smoke even aiding him a little bit on this corner. Does prevent him from swinging, but I don't think he wants to. Oh, and I don't know if I like that play too much from Jackson. Defect, though, right in the face. Oh, no way!
He picks up the gun, and he finds a 3K. Defect should have died there multiple times.
Oh, man. And honestly, everyone has bad days. And honestly, based on how we saw Lionheart play on Haven, I really can't fault him too much. But, oh, that is just so brutal if you're RIT. Losing that second round bye after such a decisive pistol round. Because that was a full eco from ODU.
Yeah.
They had nothing. They just had classics. Jackson sent it, finds the Spectre, finds a second, drops the Sheriff over, and I believe Defect. Same thing. He finds one with the classic and then picks up the remaining two with the Spectre that he recovered. So, wow, just basically nerfed the right click. I've been telling Riot for years now. The game hasn't even been out for years, and I was telling them, just get rid of it. Don't even nerf it. Just get rid of it. And this game would be so much better. But either way, ODU, with the second round conversion, what a great kill. Oh, Defect. Bit of an awkward nade there, but at least it doesn't, damage any of his own teammates.
Yeah.
And they did find the opening pick, although Niche did trade a little bit of his HP for it. It looks like Jackson might have gotten a bit tagged as well, but...
Should still be worth it, though. In the
Oh,
long
definitely.
term.
And ODU will be on a bye this round, whereas RIT will either be on a force, where they have, not the greatest, or they will just be on a full save. So we'll have to see. The worst thing is losing a second round bye to a full eco. That's about, in terms of economy-wise, that's about as bad as it gets. Oh, a bit of a awkward blast back there, but Defect is able to... Oh, what a great kill from him. Even though it knocked back Sauce a little bit, no matter. He should still be able to get the spike down with the coverage.
Trying to clear out Heaven, only using util and just spamming through the Heaven, but is cleared out in the end, so...
Enemy spotted A.
Yeah.
Jackson does find a kill into
enemy
Kaz.
remaining.
Scarf also falls. Jackson with the 3, looking for 4th. Oh, there we go. Defect for the last, and that's flawless. Although 2 very low HP members of the side of ODU, now 9-6. So great second half so far for the side of ODU, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and barring that maybe that bit of a mishap of a pistol round there, I think they were just sort of trying something a little bit with the changes to the stim, maybe going for something a bit different. Probably not something that they've practiced a ton yet in scrims and such. Yeah. But barring that, I mean, they've looked so much more confident on this attacking side. I know obviously we're still early days, only 3 rounds in so far, but 3 rounds in, but I mean, even still, they've just looked a lot better on attack than they were looking a little bit uncomfortable on this defense. Jackson again. Oh,
super early kill. And Niche is just gonna play for this flank.
he has the teleporter to get out as well. Oh, except he hasn't thrown it yet, so it's a bit awkward. He's gonna slowly creep around this corner. It looks like he might look to get aggressive. Defect though. The ultimate. Oh, blast pack. Doesn't find the kill onto Fahim. That's a bit unfortunate.
Very close, but Fahim will be very low because of that. And yeah, Sauce is just able to swing in and find that kill. So now 4 versus 2 in favor of ODU. Just that Silva left.
And I think Sauce must have some PTSD from a recent scrim or something. You can see him looking at the sky every time he plants, expecting some, either a Brim Molotov or a Sova dart or something to fly over. Definitely, this map is one of the harder ones to do the utility like that, unless you're in a position like up in Heaven or something like that where you have a lineup. But trying to do it from the other site, very, very difficult on this map. So you're a little bit safer in that regard. But yeah, another clean round out from ODU, and if I'm not mistaken, that should have been a bye from RIT, but I think maybe they forced on the round that I said they were going to save, so then they were behind on the economy. Not 100% sure, to be honest. The rounds were going pretty quick here for ODU, so.
Yeah, we do see another monster stat line from Defect, 24 and 10.
Yeah, I expect this to be a half bye from RIT just based on what their money was looking like at the beginning of this round, so. Should be, again, not too difficult for ODU. Defect, again, finds the entry. He's just going to go straight out. Wow, look at him fly.
Jumps on top of Luke's head and finds the kill onto him. Sauce finds another. And ODU complete control over this B site. Great stat
One
pool out.
enemy remaining.
Enemy and defender spawn.
And, yeah.
The fact.
Sauce just pushes straight into spawn and cleans up the remaining 3. Or, well, I think he found 2 in spawn. He found 1 before that. But, I mean, wow. Just barreling through. Usually, Sauce is the one getting the spike down. He was like, nah, it's my time to shine. Just goes barreling through the spawn smoke.
Almost a perfect flawless. Right?
Yeah.
Just Effect and Sauce taking a little bit of damage. And now 11-6. RIT's got to get a little bit worried now.
Yeah, and it's... I knew I wasn't crazy, but I mean, ODU just looks so much better on this attacking side on this map, and it's almost like something just clicked in their head, like, oh, you know, we remember how to attack on this map. It's definitely been a little bit since they've played this map in an actual game, but I'm sure they've been scrimming it. Kaz gonna find the opener though, and that nade's gonna definitely slow down this push a little bit from ODU. Defect's able to trade one back, but not before Fahim finds Sauce. So Sauce was able to get his smokes down before though, before going down, but now 3v4 for ODU, and a lot of that utility already been used. It's gonna be difficult if they want to try and wait. Wow, what a peek from Kaz.
Great shoulder peek by the side of Kaz. Absolutely amazing.
So now just the 2 fraggers out for, although I say that, I mean, Jackson on the Viper has been a very, very aggro Viper, finding some great first bloods. Looks like we might just see the double blast back out here from Defect. Yep, he's just going to go for it, but this time it goes a little high. Wasn't going off of the top of anything. So Niche is going to go for this plant, but they really don't have any idea where these players are, and Lionheart in a beautiful position. It's going to find the first, and even finds the second, so much better round there from RIT, and actually fairly low. They didn't invest too much in that round. I believe it was just the 1 ultimate that we saw, or yeah, just the 1 ultimate. So still holding on to 4 of them.
Yeah, a lot of safe guns too.
Yep, and they're going to keep 4 of their rifles over as well. So great round out of RIT. Breezy debating a little bit on what he wants to buy in this round. We saw an Odin, then back to the Vandal, then an Operator, then back to the Vandal. I expect him to stick on this Vandal here unless he's trying to drop a weapon over, but yeah. You don't really see too many weapons dropped in this game over unless your teammate, you know, really wants a skin that they don't have. But for the most part, everyone likes to use their own weapon, so you can just request.
Welcome to my world.
Which is both, you know, it's both a nice feature, but also, you know, I kind of like dropping weapons over in Counter-Strike. It makes me feel special. You know, I didn't spend all that money on my skin for only me to use it. I want to show it off. Jet with the Operator towards B long. Great use of this drone. And it looks like she got tagged again. So first was the tag from the recon bolt, and then the tag from the drone. And actually, that's going to convert the kill over for Niche.
Great stuff from ODU. And I think that Viper Pits was used early.
It was. Over towards his A site, I believe.
A-site.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. ODU could commit to...
So here's the
go a
problem.
little bit deeper into B. Yes.
Here's the problem. Is because you've used that recon bolt and the drone over towards this B site, it did net you a kill, which is great. I'm not trying to knock ODU for that, but you must. You absolutely, if you were going to go into a Viper's Pit, which it looks like they might be, you have to have the drone, or at least at the minimum the recon bolt. But at least Defect's able to find Lionheart. They should just go B. Just go B here, please.
Not sure what their decision is. Yeah, they're going to push into the Viper's Pit after they already got control. The Silva is also on that B site, though.
Yeah, but I mean, without the bomb being planted, I don't think there's really any reason. Oh, the Viper did drop her pits. Oh, what an error here. Unless the Viper's Pit is up closer towards shore. Oh, they didn't. Okay. They do shut down Fahim. He does find one with his rocket, but it does not matter at this point. 3 players still up for ODU. Plenty of time to get this spike down. Oh, but actually...
that may stop it.
No, it will go down.
But the point does get down.
Wow, that was close,
Jackson
though.
does die for it, though.
Yeah. I was a little nervous there. I could have sworn Jackson was low on HP, but he takes 2 shots, so he must have had more than 70. Or half of his HP, 80, whatever it is, 75. Because a Hunter's Fury shot will do about half. And that recon dart's going to let Niche know exactly where he is. Manages to hit the shot. Yeah.
Niche has been such a good opper for the side of ODU. Almost always on that role.
Yeah.
Playing from far range, playing with that one-shot kill weapon.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think this is really a hot take, but I actually think that Chamber just fulfills the role so much better than Jet ever did. I mean, Jet...
Oh, absolutely.
Jet still can use the Operator. You know, she has the ability to, but I just think that in terms of the teleport with Chamber, it's just instant. You know what I mean? And when you're operating and you get an instant kill, you want to be able to instantly get the heck out of there. So, Yeah, I like that Niche has been basically the full-time op for ODU here, and he's done a great job. Wow, that was a bit strange. Don't know why he wouldn't just bounce that recon dart off the wall. That could have easily been a first blood for ODU, but they do not quite manage to capitalize. Definitely some intel out for RIT as well towards that hookah position.
We have no ultimates available for the side of ODU.
Yeah,
So that's going to be a bit interesting, but it should not matter.
but match point for them. So RIT needs to win every single round now.
5 in a row to take
5 in a row.
to extra.
Yep.
As that will help him get there, as Jackson does fall for the first blood to Fahim.
And again, like we were mentioning, you do not want to lose one of your controllers first. This is one of my big critiques of this ODU squad. Oh, and it looks like... Oh, actually, I'm not 100% sure. It looks like the trades have been favoring ODU, though, towards this A site, and the spike just will go down. Sauce even taps it, fakes it.
Ooh, gets out in time, takes the TP.
Okay, this is a very fast call. I mean, the rest of his team was here, so maybe this is a good call. And they spot the Sova. That's just going to be a free kill. Oh, and that's perfect. That is the perfect pick for ODU. Sauce will go down to okay, the bit of desperation out there for the Jet.
Did have the knife, so.
Yeah, but I think she had her operator out first, and I think, did she dash towards Cubby? I'm not 100% sure if she came through the smoke to hit that shot or if she was already there, but a beautiful shot from Niche closes out.
That's going to be the game. 13-7 on the second map. No, she started in Cubby.
Okay, she was in Cubby. Wow.
Opting to not use the op after updrafting because, well, that accuracy is not the best.
Not the best, yeah.
No, but it's a lot easier to hit with the knives.
Although RIT definitely, fighting valiantly in that second game, ODU manages to close it out. We did see a very close first half.
Yes.
But ODU really finding their stride on their attacker's side. I mean, it looked basically unwinnable for RIT. I believe they only won one defender round, even though they went right because it was 13-7 and it was what 6-6 at half, or no, it was 7-5. So they won two defender rounds. Yeah. But one of them was the pistol. Yeah, one of them was the pistol. So. Yeah, definitely some great play out from ODU. And I mean, I think we expected this victory, especially after the first one.
Yeah, as soon as you see that first map go as dominant as it did, 13-2, you wouldn't really expect anything else. Like, yes, you have your own map pick, but it's still such a dominant first map win for the side of ODU.
Yeah. And I think we did see a lot similar compositions there on Bind, but again, I'm such a strong believer that ODU just had a much superior composition on Haven. I really don't like the Killjoy on Haven. No. I think it's the worst Sentinel to play.
It's just very strange to use there.
Yeah.
Because the turret placements are very much in the open when you are checking for sites, because you're not using it for damage. You're checking to see who's walking in. And the ultimate angles aren't really the best because you can't really force everyone off of a site without the lockdown being potentially destroyed.
Yeah.
Just because of the geometry of the map.
Well, and the main problem as well with the lockdown and why it's so hard to find value on Haven is because a lot of these post plants are far away from the site.
Yep.
So how are you supposed to, you might get one player on the site, but it's not really going to help you much in the post plant because everyone's going to be playing far away off the site, towards C long, towards B window, in the main window, or even on A, you can play an A long where the Killjoy ultimate won't touch you. So really hard to find value with that agent. Really, the turret's the only thing that's super valuable, and it's more on your attacker side where you can watch the flanks with it. It's a great piece of utility to watch flanks. But
at which point, Chamber.
Right. Why not just play Chamber or play even Cypher? I would much rather see a Cypher than a Killjoy on that map. But either way, yeah, pretty solid both of the games out from ODU. I think they did have a bit of a hard time getting going on Bind, but we saw that the shift a little bit after that first time out called by Sauce. On their first half, and ODU started to get a couple of those rounds back, and definitely took that momentum into their second half and just ran with it. I mean, it was basically after those first couple. I sort of knew after that second round, full eco win. If your mental just if you lose a round like that, oh my, it's so hard to come back, especially with something. One of the things I like to mention a lot about Valorant is you can lose an entire series off of one mistake. And for RIT, I mean, it was a rough first game, but if you were to ever have a chance to win the series, obviously Bind was the place to do it. It started out good. You were looking solid in that first half. And then as soon as you lose that second round bye, when you're RIT, I mean, your hopes it goes up in flames because it's, oh my God. You really cannot. Those are the kinds of rounds that are free. Those are supposed to be the rounds that you don't have to fight for.
Yeah.
It's just a guaranteed win, basically. I mean, all they have is classics and maybe, their free utility that they get at the beginning of the round because you want a full save so that you can full invest in the next round. And when you lose a round like that, oh, dude,
Yeah,
your economy's
it's
just
brutal.
in the garbage. Your mental is just in the garbage. I mean, it's just, it's so hard to come back from a huge mistake like that, or just a poorly played round like that. So great to see ODU capitalize even on rounds like that. We have seen them, in previous games, rounds like that have happened to them. Especially a couple weeks ago, we saw a team that was especially good on those eco rounds. So nice to see that ODU adapting a bit of that to their own play style. They did a great job on that second map, bringing it back. And honestly, I don't have too much else to say about it.
I don't have anything else. I think that was an amazing showing out from the side of ODU.
Actually, we might be able to get a player interview. We do have a few players on site today.
Yep.
So we are going to send it to a break. And when we are back, we will have a player interview for you, hopefully. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, and we are back. Contrary to what it says at the bottom of your screen, of course, Bobby Basting, my fellow caster tonight, is sitting aside for Defect, who, if you were watching if you missed game one, basically, let's just say, I believe you finished the game with what, like a 7.0 KDA or a 6.0 KDA, like 26 frags. I mean, you were just popping off. And I mean, we've kind of grown accustomed to expect that out of you, especially on the jet. You just look so comfortable on it.
Yeah, I mean, we thought this game would be a lot more even for the most part because they had two immortals on their team, which we figured, at least they would be good aimers, but they actually didn't do as well as we thought they would. So we actually steamrolled them on Haven pretty easily, and we don't play that map that often. That was like one time, I think.
Well, and I was going to ask you, was that your pick or was that their pick?
That was our pick.
Okay, that's what we thought.
Yep.
Okay, so because we weren't sure because we know that we had a little insider intel that you guys may be practicing a little bit on bind as well. We did see a few pocket traps, but I'll get there. So Haven, I mean, there's not a whole ton to touch on. I will say that for the most part, you guys just looked very clean. Like you knew exactly how you wanted to hit, how you wanted to execute. The executes were very, there wasn't any hesitation. Whereas on RIT, we saw a lot of sloppy mistakes. But I mean, I think the first couple rounds, we did see a few things that were like a little bit awkward, especially Sauce with a few. I mean, I know obviously the controller changes. He hasn't played Omen in a while, but we definitely did see a few gaps in those smokes. And I did want to ask about one round, your first B execute. Got a little bit scary there, a little bit nerve wracking. Don't know if you remember. I believe You dash on with the spike,
with
plant
the Marshalls?
immediately.
Was it the Marshall?
With the
one?
Marshals, the
Okay,
Marshall one,
yeah,
with the
yeah.
crossfire. And I don't know if it was gaps in the smoke, but it looked like once you guys got the bomb down, it's pretty much just Niche and Breezy sitting back, and the rest of you guys were just in there.
I think our main problem was they pushed us so fast. Like where I was, I saw like 3 of them. They're all sniping at me, like left and right. I couldn't really do much. I was just trying to dodge bullets. But I think the main part of that was trying just to get the bomb down. At least for me, it didn't matter if I survived. I just had to get it down, and then everybody else just played lineups, which you saw Breezy just threw some shock darts, got like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That was pretty simple for the most part, especially when we can out aim them. I mean, it just helped us out a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys did pick up the round. It was definitely a nail biter. And I mean, I saw you like updraft up onto the top as well, and that was after Jackson had like pushed a smoke or something and gone down. I was like, oh man, it's getting a little sketchy here, but you guys were able to pull it out. So at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. And you guys looked very like pretty much after those first couple of rounds that were looking a little bit rocky, you guys smoothed it out, and it was pretty much just a free game from there on. I mean, there's not much else to say. I was even saying to Rob that really the only player on their team that impressed me at all was he was playing Sova on the first map. I can't remember what his name was actually now, but
he was the only one. I went 3-2 against him. Everybody else I went like 7-1 or 7-0 on the first map. So he was the only one that really like stepped up for aim wise on their team, I would say. We honestly didn't have a problem if we just like pushed on the site and instantly got a couple picks.
Lionheart, that's who it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly, but yeah, he was pretty much the only one that was even trying to keep them into those rounds. I mean, for the most part, you guys were just shutting them out. So I will talk about Bind though real quick, because there was definitely some issues on Bind we saw, especially early on in that first half. Because I'm not gonna lie, after the first map, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a steamroll. You know what I mean? Like it's not even what hope do they have in the second map, or talking about RIT. Yeah. But it was a little rough. It was a little rough out of the gate on Bind. We saw a few interesting strategies. I'll get to the second. Yeah. I'll get to the second half pistol in a second. But early on, it just looked like, especially so after you guys, I believe you won pistol pretty easily on the first half.
I think so.
And then you were able to convert the second pretty easily. But then come third, obviously, I think you pretty much, it was a flawless like shutout from them. Of course, on your bonus round, you kind of expect it to not exactly go. For the most part, you lose those rounds just so you can full invest in the next one. But I think there was a couple of gun rounds that you guys had, like maybe 1 or 2 after that were, or you had the gun round, then the save, then the gun round, that just looked like you guys were getting a little bit frustrated out there in terms of, I can't remember exactly what went wrong, but there's just a few things where the pieces didn't quite fit together. I was just curious, what was the communication like in those first couple rounds? Because we saw a timeout right after that second one.
Yeah, so I think nobody was really like in it, I guess you could say, for those first rounds. At least I wasn't performing like well the first like 5 rounds or something like that. But after we switched up our sites, like me and Jackson went over to the other site, and then the rest of them went on the other side. I think we just got like 4 rounds or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we evened it out. But yeah, we did have some strategies like the stim beacon stinger that didn't work out because it doesn't shoot that far.
Yeah. So. Well, and it seemed like they were kind of ready for it too. Like they immediately, as soon as they heard it coming out, like they still heard the rush down short, they all like fell back immediately, and yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had like your POV where you saw like the enemy outlines. That would have been nice.
Well, we didn't because we were on coach, unfortunately. But either way, we saw you didn't get discouraged by that first stinger rush. We saw it again out, except on your pistol, 5 frenzies, stim beacon. Did not go the greatest. What happened there?
I mean, I got a kill. I think our weekend, I want to say Viper or someone in U-Haul.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my other teammates. I'll be honest with you.
It was just a mad dash.
I feel like they just died. And then, well, yeah, because someone died in showers. And then we were worried about showers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just rough.
I think that showers player was caused a lot of problems too, because I think Sauce wasn't even able to get the spike down. He got swung from showers. So
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, for the most part, all your gun rounds though looked really, really good on attack. And I was actually even saying to Rob that even though on your defensive side looked a little bit rocky, as soon as you got into the groove of things on your attack, I mean, it didn't even look close. I mean, every single execute was just really, really clean. It looked like you guys were like, oh yeah, we remember Binds, that map that we haven't played in a while, and it looked really good. So, although it started a bit rocky, that's fine. You turned it around, so that's all that matters. Got the 2-0. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else that I wanted to ask you about. Did you have anything you wanted to shout out, or you want to thank the fans or anyone watching?
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully we have a lot more games soon. I think we have a couple more next week, but we'll be at home this time, so it won't be like a setup at all. I'm not too sure if you guys are streaming that.
I'm not sure. Over spring break, I don't think we will have
Yeah.
coverage just because
Mhm.
we got people going all over the place, traveling home, things like that. But I mean, we'll be here when everyone gets back. We're not going anywhere. And actually, we do. Speaking on coverage of all of the games and how we are not able to cover over spring break, we are calling anyone that is slightly interested in being a broadcaster or on air. You don't even need to know a ton about esports. You know, we've got a lot of people that would be willing to work with you to teach you, teach you the ropes and what kind of things to look out for. It's great experience. It pays, fairly well for what, what kind of stuff you're doing. And feel free to apply. We're looking for broadcasters and production team members, not just broadcasters. I forgot to mention that. So if you're more about the production side, where you like to manage the stream, make sure everything's running smoothly, switching between scenes, following players in game on the camera as well, we've got no shortage of positions for you. Even I'm sure we're looking for people to do graphic design stuff as well. To provide for these overlays and things like that, make these great graphics that you see on screen for us to make sure that we keep it running as smoothly and as professionally as possible. So definitely head on over to Handshake and do a little bit of a search for us. We are on there and we are looking for all of those positions to be filled. So it's on the screen right now. Take a quick screenshot, take a quick picture on your phone, and definitely sign up. You'll get to work alongside people like me and Rob. We do games all the time, and you get to cast incredible games like this one we just got to. It's a ton of fun, and it's a great way to make some money on the side as well. If you are a student here at ODU, that is important. All the jobs, I believe, are on site, so make sure that you are a current ODU student and you are close enough. You don't have to be on campus, but you have to be able to get to campus for these positions. So keep that in mind as well. But with that, don't have anything else. So thanks again for tuning in. Make sure that you follow us on Twitch and turn on notifications so you know when we go live. Hit the little bell right below. You should see it. If you're in full screen, you gotta go to windowed. And also follow us on Twitter at ODU_esports. We try and keep you guys up to date on all the happenings and scores of the games. Obviously, we have a lot of teams here at ODU, so sometimes we have multiple games going on at a time. So maybe we're covering Valorant, but maybe a Halo game's going on as well. And if Halo's more your jam, well, make sure you're checking out Twitter, because we'll try and keep you guys up to date on scores and things like that, and on upcoming matches. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be back tomorrow with more coverage. I believe we've got League of Legends tomorrow, 2:00. And then following that, we will have, tomorrow's Friday. So we will not have League of Legends tomorrow. Not 100% sure what we have tomorrow, but on Saturday, we have League of Legends and Rainbow Six. That's right. We have Rainbow Six Friday and Saturday. I knew I was missing something. So if you're interested in Rainbow Six, another great competitive shooter, I will be back here tomorrow night, hopefully with a co-caster, and we will be doing some Rainbow Six. So thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.